Eric Eustace Williams,
I, Eric Eustace Williams,
do swear
do swear
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true.
The independent nation of which we dream is like to a grain of mustard seed, which indeed is the least of all seeds. But when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs.
Inward Hunger, a film on the life of the father of the nation, Dr. Eric Williams, will be aired here on TTT on Thursday, 19th September at 8 p.m. And we're going to chat a little bit more about that. A man who has known, or who would have known Dr. Eric Williams during his political career, a man who would have interacted with him as his advisor, also a founding member of the People's National Movement, Mr. Ferdinand Ferdy Ferreira, is joining us this morning. We have a true son of the soil, a patriot in our midst this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
As good as can be at 87.
There you go. There you go. Still feeling excited to continue moving forward. Sharing.
Well, yes, I think that I never miss an opportunity to provide the national community with the experiences I've acquired over the years. And I'm always available once required to
I mean, you have done a lot of
put
things.
this experience at the disposal of the national community, more so the younger people.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can learn a lot from you. I mean, former elections officer of the PNM, labor relations officer, party organizer, political advisor to Dr. Eric Williams, a political advisor to Mr. Carl Hodgson Phillips, political advisor to current Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. And I mean, the list can go on and on.
Oh, sure.
But we want to focus on Inward Hunger. I know there is also the book, and you want to share your thoughts on this. You know, knowing Dr. Eric Williams, you would have probably shared some of your thoughts on him over the years. But now, looking back at everything that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, what are your thoughts?
I think the opportunity is an excellent opportunity for the national community, more so the younger people, to learn or to be informed. There's so much misinformation out there, and I say this without being offensive or disrespectful, about the life and times of this distinguished son of the soil, otherwise known as the founding father of the nation. And day after day, you get these misconceptions and misinformation about the life and times. So this is an excellent opportunity for the national community to learn more. America never stopped talking about Thomas Jefferson. England never stopped talking about Sir Winston Churchill, Shakespeare. The people who have built this society. China will never stop talking about Mao Zedong or Deng Xiaoping, or Singapore will never stop talking about Lee Kuan Yew. And it is the responsibility of the state to provide the information so that the younger people would be acquainted with their history. Very few people young people in this country know anything about Eric Williams, and this is extremely unfortunate.
What are some of the misconceptions that we have, though, from what you've heard?
Well, there's so many. Day after day, you go about and you hear he was this and he do that, and he would, beginning with his private life. And his achievements, his activities, his negatives, his positives. And this will go on for some time. But he took the opportunity, unlike so many other citizens, people like Sir Ellis Clark, Sir Solomon Hochoy, Doddridge Alling, Noor Hassan Ali, people who contributed so heavily to the development of the country, have written nothing.
Yeah.
And this to me is extremely unfortunate. I myself, as a layman, a non-academic, took the, yeah.
And you would have written Political Encounters 1946 to 2016.
Yes.
Before we get into the work of Dr. Eric Williams there and the book that he would have written, what does this entail?
This in political encounters with the politicians of the it's in 1946 when we achieved adult franchise, when we were given the right to citizens 21 years, we were given the opportunity to exercise their political franchise. It begins 10 years before the birth of the PNM. It began in 1946 with the first, where we had the first general elections on the adult franchise with 9 elected members. So that gives, and it comes right up to 2016. 2016. Well, of course, it excludes to some extent the current Prime Minister, but it goes right back from Dr. Williams to
Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Yes. But it's more, the emphasis is more on the PNM,
right,
which I would have been identified
an
as a
influential
foundation
member. A major part of the PNM and the development of the party.
Of course, that influence will involve my expulsion.
Well, I mean, so let's get to the book itself that Dr. Eric Williams would have left us on his life.
Yes.
What really stands out
the
for
book
you?
was published in 1969, 7 years after independence.
Right.
And this, he attempted to give a background of the society in which he was born, in which he was educated, in which he was given an opportunity to colonial scholarships to acquire an education in the motherland, and put that education at the disposal of the national community. One, as a research scholar with the Caribbean Commission, or as a university lecturer at Howard University, advisor to the trade union movement, providing the national, as he said, in his relations with I was educated at your expense. And then when he made that historical statement, I will let down my bucket here. You paid for my education at Oxford, and I'm prepared now to put back something, to pay back the society. And I don't think anybody has made a contribution or pay as much as he has made in his 24 years, moving from chief minister in 1956, premier in 1959, and prime minister in 1962. It's all there. Portrait of a colonial society, life with father, education of a young colonial, a colonial at Oxford, Negro at Oxford, West Indian travel extensively throughout the Caribbean. When I say the Caribbean, I'm talking about the British Caribbean, the Dutch Caribbean, the French Caribbean. So he acquired extensive knowledge as a sociologist.
And I'm sure that people will be able to find out more about his work on Thursday, 19 September, 8 p.m. right here on TTT. Mr. Ferreira, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us to share some of your knowledge about Dr. Eric Williams and the things that he would have done.
My book is available at RIK.
RIK, check it out for Mr. Ferreira's book. Okay, we go to the news now, and the show continues after this.